Okay, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Let's talk about the Ondo election, Ondo State governorship election coming up on Saturday. Well, first of all, it's a the police are taking it, the police is taking it very, very seriously. When you look at the preparations that they have made, they usually always do make preparations, but first of all, no fewer than 17 political parties will actually participate in the election, but it's going to be between the front runners, the APC and the PDP, the incumbent APC and the PDP. PDP would like to take over in Government House, but it's an interesting thing in the sense that the candidates of both the APC and the PDP, there are those who see them as sort of kindred souls, in the sense that both of them served as the deputy to the now late Aketi Akeredolu SAN, former governor of Ondo State, now deceased. And here we are. Both of them are now squaring off against each other. Now, when I started off with the police, and that's because when you look at what the police has lined up, let me just check it out here. So, Mr. Kayode Egbetu, he has banned, first of all, the Western Nigeria Security Network, codenamed Amotekun. Amotekun, you don't have anything whatsoever to do with this election. Not only you, any other thing, any other vigilante group and all those kind of people, even state-sponsored, are not to participate in this election. In a statement that that was given from his office, he has said that only federal security agencies and other members of Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security would be allowed to participate. They are saying, the police is saying that it's going to concern itself with the Electoral Act of 2022 guidelines. It's all about fairness, it's all about transparency, and there are going to be all sorts of formations of the police. They said that they will have the K9 units, anti-bomb units, and all that kind of thing, apart from all sorts of specialist branches. On the one hand, that is as well as it might be, but observers have seen that it's not as if there's been very much in terms of boisterousness going on in Ondo State, by which I mean that the observers have said that it seems to be concentrated mostly in the capital. The activities, such as it is, seem to have been concentrated mostly in the capital. And but we'll see when our guest comes on what his take on the matter is. But it's sort of been a very cool kind of process. This is unlike the last time when there was a governorship election in Ondo State. Tensions were high. It's not as if the tensions are not there now, but they seem to be quite subdued. All of this is, of course, by way of, commentary. That's what we'll be doing. We'll be taking perspectives from citizens who are actually in Ondo State and can give us a, what do you call that thing now? That can give us an eyewitness account of what's going on. Now, why? If indeed it is accepted that it does seem a bit laid back, why? There are conjectures that, as I said, both of them they might not agree themselves, but seen as kindred spirits. They both worked under the same governor before, they fell out. When you look at it politically, you look at the two leading candidates you look at the two candidates of the APC and the PDP. The incumbent is probably not as experienced as his counterpart in the PDP, in the sense that he was in the House of Representatives and came from there to work with Governor Akeredolu, now of blessed memory. It was the election, the last election. That was the only time. That was the only time when, the PDP, the incumbent governor came into prominence when Rotimi Akeredolu had changed him with former governor. Okay, our guest is now ready. Our guest, Honorable Femi Adekombi. Honorable Adekombi is a former commissioner for special duties, culture, and tourism in Ondo State. So he's an insider, and he does know the lie of the ground. The last time, I believe, when we spoke with Dr. Femi Adekombi, I think he was out of the country, but let me check if he's in the country now. I do know that we will be speaking with Dr. Femi Adekombi. Good morning to you, Dr. Adekombi.
Yeah, good morning, my dear brother.
Okay.
It's a pleasure being here.
Are we speaking on the soil, on home soil now?
Of course, I am live and direct from Akure.
Oh, okay, now. Great.
Live and direct.
Great.
Speaking to you from Akure, Ondo State.
Great. Okay, now fill us in on how, I know, first of all, in terms of sides, if that is the way to put it, your candidate is the incumbent governor. But both of them are not unknown to each other. In fact, they are kindred. Some say that they are kindred spirits. In fact, there are those who go as far as saying that they don't necessarily expect much difference between the two political gladiators. And this is because both of them have worked with Akeredolu, and so there must have been some synergy in their politics. First of all, what's your take on that?
Yeah, well, as you can see during the debate, you can see the way they hug themselves after the debate. Both of them are from the same place. As a matter of fact, they see themselves as brothers. And I think that's one good thing about Ondo State. And I want to commend the people of Ondo State for a good electoral campaign period. And you can see the campaign is devoid of any wrongdoing, devoid of any fighting, violence, going off smoothly. And for the first time in the state, and I mean it, for the first time in the state, we are conducting an election where we don't have any violence anywhere, all because of the fact that the two candidates see themselves as brothers.
Yes, that is always to be desired. But what do you think of the commentary that I have heard that goes that these two people are, as a result of the zoning arrangement that was followed by the parties, these two candidates in particular, how do they put it? These two candidates in particular sort of have not allowed a varied kind of candidature to emerge. And so if it hadn't been for the zoning, perhaps, so the theory goes, then there might have been a much more vibrant field. And so what you are commending, which is to be commended, it's going peacefully, it's friendly, and all of that, there might have been a bit more vigor, shall we say, to this particular campaign. Do you agree with that notion?
Yeah, I do agree with the fact that if in those states we have a pattern and we follow that pattern, which is the fact that we followed our zoning. So sometimes things can go off balance, but at the same time, for this period, we are following zoning, and that's why you see most of them, almost all the people contesting, are basically from the same area, and that's why you are seeing this kind of campaign going on now, because they see themselves as brothers. Even if other zones, other areas of that district are participated in the electoral campaign, it wouldn't have changed anything, because we are getting matured in those states that look, life is not about do or die affair. Politics is not about do or die affair, and it's commendable.
What do you think of the lengths that the police have gone to, as we've been informed, I think it was just yesterday or so, that no regional kind of security network or anything like that will be permitted. They're all to clear the field, leave it to the police. The police is going to do its best to work in terms with, in line with the Electoral Act. First of all, what do you think of that?
Well, I don't really see where this thing actually came from, because Amotekun has never participated in any election in Ondo State. I am the late Governor Akeredolu set up Amotekun. I was part of the election conducted during his time, and there was never a time, I was part of the security committee during that time, there was never a time when Amotekun was involved with any of this. But you see, I love the sportsmanship display by the police, what the IGP said, which is good. Why do we have to give the confidence to the opposition and look, okay, if this is unfair, don't worry, we'll step in. And they've stepped in, no problem about that. But we have never, and I want to say the Amotekun has never been part of any election in Nigeria. If they have any evidence, let them show us where they see Amotekun guiding a voter to vote, or guiding anywhere during election, or seeing their movie anywhere during election. Never happened. They've not ever seen that. So where the opposition is taking.
Okay, it'll unfreeze shortly. I'm sure our viewers by now know what's going on. Just a momentary freezing there. As
of life with politics, because even on that day of the election, you don't tell Amotekun not to work, because they still have to do their work. Whatever you just they have kidnapping in the areas, who will assist the police in getting things sorted out? It's still the same Amotekun. Most of our borders in Ondo State have to be guided by.
Sorry about these network challenges. Our viewers know that this is the situation. We're listening to Honorable Femi Adekanbi, former Commissioner for Special Duties, Culture.
Because Amotekun has never, and I repeat, has never been part of any election in Ondo State.
Okay. All right then. Well, indeed, just to underline that, the police boss, IG Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered the deployment of officers from various, I'm reading from a report here, various specialized units, including the Special Intervention Squad, Mobile Police Force, Counter-Terrorism Unit, Special Protection Unit, Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit, and K9, and that's just among others. So it looks like...
I'm not cutting you short. Basically, I don't yet think that may be that may be necessary, because, in Ondo State, one thing about Ondo State people, we in Ondo State, we are very peaceful now. We are very peaceful. We are kind of people, we are accommodating, we are warm, we are likable people, so we don't like violence. So bringing all those squads to Ondo State, it's not a war. It's not a war. But you see, if opposition are presenting some kind of impression about what's happening in Ondo State, they should remember the fact that after this election, we will still remain in Ondo State. Why must you present yourself, your state to the public, or to the nation, or to the entire world as if we are violent? Why not? Well, I can assure you, the IGP has done the right thing, fine, well and good, but there's no violence anywhere. The election is going to be peaceful, and it's going to go on smoothly. During the last governorship and presidential election,
Indeed. I think people sort of get the idea that the election will be peaceful, and some have even said almost dull. Forgive my saying so. This is what I'm just reading, in the sense that most campaigning has been concentrated reportedly within the what is it now? The zones of the contestants, and whereas there's a lot to be said for peace and tranquility. Elections are what they are. They usually are colorful affairs, vibrant affairs. But because of what I just said earlier, people are thinking that, well, in fact, maybe, yeah, I'd like to hear your take on this. People are saying that, well, I shouldn't say people are saying. It is reported that some people think that there's very little to choose between both the candidates of the APC and the PDP, politically speaking, because they're sort of political soulmates.
Well, let me correct what you just said. Just yesterday, our candidate was in Ondo State. Was in Owo, my hometown, where thousands of people came out to receive him. It was massive. And he has been moving around the entire state. So the impression that people are having that they are concentrating their campaign in the south is totally wrong. Totally. Today, just more or less the last day of the rally, we are in some town. Today we are going for campaign in some town. So we have been campaigning everywhere. And likewise, PDP candidates too, another candidate, they'll be campaigning everywhere because it's an electoral campaign period. You must campaign everywhere. Make sure that you convince the electorate to vote for you. You cannot be, the Southerners are not going to be the only one that will vote. And you see, why this election is unique is because of the fact that, one, the two of them are politically very inclined. They are smart. They are both from the same area. And funny enough, both of them belong to the same party before, APC. And at the point in time, another one moved to PDP. Both of them are the deputy governor. It's so interesting, very interesting. But upon it all, of course, our party, APC, will win the election. It's obvious.
Okay, I can just imagine that PDP is members in Ondo State are listening to this, and if they were on this show, they would probably be saying exactly the same. They would be saying, to your assertion that APC will win this election, they would be asserting that, wait for it, PDP is going to be winning this election. But that is in the interest of political rhetorics. Just before we continue, Otumba Okunowo is on the line from Abeokuta. Good morning, Otumba.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Please go ahead now.
Hello, good morning, Uncle Yori. Good morning, Uncle Yori.
I hope you're not listening from your television because that is causing some confusion. Please just listen.
Can I continue? Good morning, Uncle
on the phone. The television, if it is indeed what you are listening from, is causing
okay,
some...
let me. Uncle Yori, you know I'm PDP, and I will talk PDP.
Thank you, sir.
I know this is TVC is APC station.
No. Why do you want us to argue from the very beginning? You know, TVC is just a national station. We give equal time to both, all parties.
So the idea thing is for the PDP to win that election, and like he did also in Edo, except for the manipulation. If there's no manipulation, if the results are transmitted electronically on RF, and for everybody to see, like it happened everywhere in the Senate climbs. They just did the American election. The next day, the results are out, and the loser congratulated the winner because she saw that it was clear. So let it be clear also in Nigeria. Let the electorate decide, not the INEC officers. Let the voters decide. Let our vote count. Then we will trust the election. We will trust the democracy. Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. But you see, Otumba, you almost wanted to cause a quarrel, but I will never quarrel with a viewer. Why would you say what you just said? TVC is a national station. It gives equal time to all that are willing to come forward. But that's, a little matter. Perhaps you didn't mean it very seriously, because we have demonstrated that, time and again. But going back to that Otumba's assertion, I guess this is what Kayode Egbetokun, IGP, this is what he wants to ensure. What that gentleman has just said, that, look, let there be a level playing field. And that has been something that has been emphasized, that everything within the powers of the police to achieve this is being put, forward. So would you agree with that, Dr. Adekombi, that the police is doing its best to show that we don't have a horse in the race, and people can look forward? In fact, they are going way. In fact, considering the peace and tranquility that we say prevails in Ondo State now, when you look at all those police formations that I just read out, you say, in fact, in Yoruba, they might say, why won't take away? What are we doing? Is it more than election? Why are you going to all this extent? But I think it is just because of what Otumba said that the police is going to all this extent.
Let me react to what Otumba said.
That caller said.
Nobody, no political party, especially in our own party, will say there should not be a free and fair election. Nobody prays for that. No political party will come out and say, look, I don't want a free and fair election. That's the fact. So where is getting the information from that is because of the fact that, you see, in Ondo State, PDP is more or less dead. Who are the people in PDP now? That's why I pity the candidates. The candidate, my friend, is somebody I know very well. He's my brother, he's my friend. We have been together for years. I told him, I said, you know what? You are contesting from a wrong party. Come to our party. Come back to your party that you belong. And I can show you, after the election, you come to the party. Most of the people that are in 90%, 80 to 90% of their leaders are now in APC. So I sympathize with him because of the fact that they in Ogun State now, he's talking about a free and fair election. So what does he want us to do? We in Ondo State, we don't rig election. We don't have to rig election because we are the most popular. Why do you need to rig the election when you know that you are going to win? When you know that people are on your side?
Okay. All right then. Mr. George, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Good morning to the guest.
Yes.
Uncle Yori, from the perspective of a political observer,
yes,
I am concerned about this upcoming Ondo election in one or two ways. The last time, I think it was this same guest before you, the last time I watched on YouTube on a session that you held with him, and he was speaking to you from his quiet room in London. And then you asked him, it's a month or so to election. Are you not coming home to campaign? He said, no, it's a walkover, that you should not worry about it. As much as his expectation could be true, it is not healthy for our democracy. I am linked towards his party. I'm not a member, but I'm linked towards his party. But I want a situation where there should be an opposition that a party fears. We don't want to, we the populace will be the ones to suffer it if there's no strong opposition to a government in place. They will just, look at us as if we mean nothing to them. If they know that they can win any election any day, even if you suggest anything to them, they won't take it. They know that with or without taking that advice, they will still be returned. I don't know what the PDP is experiencing in Ondo State, but whatever it is, they need to brace up and present themselves as a force to reckon with in that state. Even if they lose to the other party, they should be able to give that impression that they have the capacity to take it at the next election. It's important for the benefit of all. Good morning.
Thank you very much for calling in, Mr. George. So, Dr. Adekombi, how would you react?
Yeah, when he said it, I laughed. And from the cover of my home in London. Yes, you see, the point is this: when you know what you have done concerning your election, you'll be confident of your winning. It's on record in this country, and in fact, not only in Nigeria, there are people who do win election from prison. A brother of ours won an election from prison in Nigeria. He was in prison when he won an election. He was allegedly alleged of doing something, and he won. He was arrested. Why being detained? While he was there inside the distance, he won an election. So what are you talking about? Did you see him on the street? But prior to that time, he has done his own work. He has worked with the grassroots. He had done everything perfect, and he won that election. So election is by your capacity of your engagement with the grassroots, and that was why I said that time that look, it's a walkover because I know what the leaders, what the stakeholders have done in Ondo State, how far they have gone, how far we have moved with the grassroots, and that was why I confidently said that look, we is a walkover. And that's why I'm here now. We are all there in Ondo State, moving, campaigning, engaging people. I am the secretary of the Special Engagement Committee of the National Campaign Council. I didn't sleep yesterday until this morning. I didn't sleep until 4:30 a.m. this morning, engaging with the people, engaging with the stakeholders. And that's the way why most of the PDP people are busy sleeping. Even up to now, some of them, we are in the same area here. Busy sleeping. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. You must be grassrooted for you to win an election, and that is what Lucky Aiyedatiwa has done, and that's what the party APC have done, and that's what we are doing.
Okay, I did have one or two comments to make, but let me take a quick break, and I'll make them after that, so that we can just continue from there.